Fall Guys, a game that seemingly came out of the blue to take over the streaming and gaming world. It was not expected to be this popular. To be honest, even the developers weren't ready for the wave of 120,000 beans getting ready to fall. Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout is a 2020 platforming battle royale game developed by Mediatonic and published by Devolver Digital. Devolver Digital are known for their quite out there approach, as you can see from their wacky conferences, and are clearly not afraid or shy to publish some quite out there games. Katana Zero, Enter the Gungeon, Hotline Miami, My Friend Pedro, Ape Out, just to name a few. To be honest, they probably quite relished the idea of a game that innovated on a tried and tested battle royale formula. So why am I talking to you about it on my channel? Well, frankly, I'm hoping to reach an audience that appreciate games discussion and importantly are looking for a new game to try out or learn about. I'll admit, Fall Guys looks like just another mobile game. Another happy-go-lucky, bright-coloured mess in an offensive but sort of sickly, Fortnite-esque colour palette. But there's more to it than meets the eye, and that's why I'm writing this today. You would be right to think that it looks like a kid's game. It's not for me. Hell, even the developers point out that their modes are inspired a lot by kids games, such as The Floor is Lava.
Games that kids play, you know, in the playground and things like that. And one of those classic games is The Floor is Lava. Really, like, the most important rule we have is that our mini games have to be simple and easy to understand. And childhood playground games are very good for that because they have to be explained quickly and they have to be very extensible for like lots of people in the playground to just like join in.
I wouldn't call it a negative. In fact, it's really refreshing to me to be able to pick up a game without any training modes, without getting beat for 45 hours straight by other people that got in earlier, learned the mechanics, have it down. It's great to have a game you can pick up and play and know you're going to enjoy. Not every single game created needs to be a 50-minute long slog. I'm looking at you, Dota 2, PUBG, League of Legends, and yes, it's a kid-like game, and yes, it does look like it was made for my little niece, but that doesn't mean to say it's easy or boring. In fact, it's a blast, and it's nice to be taken back to those childhood belly laughs. I think that's sort of why it's gone viral. There's finally a bit of fun. Maybe it's during the pandemic, maybe it's the stagnant meta of games been released, I can't be sure, but I can be sure, definitely, that people are seeing other people having fun. They're not getting sponsored, it's genuine fun and they want to share and get involved in that. So Mediatonic is the company who made this and who have previously made games such as Gears Pop with 1 million player, Yahtzee with Buddies and popular games like Fantastic Beasts, Cases from the Wizarding World. However, none really have quite hit the stardom or at least social media level of fame as Fall Guys. So why is that? Let's dive into it, or should I say fall into it. Since the official launch on August the 3rd, the game has taken the world by storm. Within a week, it became the top downloaded game globally on the Steam store. It's had Tim the Tatman be tracked on ESPN. It's had Dr. Disrespect play it. Well, frankly, every streamer's played it, but that's not all new news, is it? With any new release, normally streamers and content creators play it, but normally they're paid up to their eyeballs in dollar bills and sponsored to play this, but not this time. It was a genuine interest in getting involved in fun action that their friends were having. That's right, fun. It feels like it's been a while since the last fun game was released. These days, when a game releases, it's about toppling a market, creating the next AAA hype game, or just innovating on a formula to try get a piece of that popular pie. Trying to get it as hyped as possible through adverts, sponsorships, Twitter hashtags, and ultimately, they just end up in a frustrating player experience as often the reality doesn't meet the expectation. People are sort of sold a pipe dream, and after a few weeks, the streamers move on, the population dwindles, and people wonder what the fuss was about. It wouldn't be the first time a game was played by the very best in the streaming world, Shroud, Doc, etc., and it suddenly died. Battalion 1944 springs to mind. Its player numbers now are just sad, frankly, and games like Hyperscape have gone from 60,000 to 1,000, but this feels a bit different. I think Fall Guys might finally be doing something new. We have it topping Steam after a week, and if its player count on PlayStation is to be accurate, it's also reached 10 million on there. So we spoke about the numbers a lot. It's clear that it's popular, but why is it been played? It's fun, and currently it's quite literally and figuratively taking the crown. It's quite simple. You know how Mario Kart doesn't really do anything all that crazy different, but you could get your mates round, have a laugh, and kill an hour's time, and you can all sit and say, I enjoyed that. It's got that replayability factor, the fun factor, the mild irritation factor, and it's sprinkled with laugh out loud moments, and yes, I hate that phrase. It keeps people playing, and it's no surprise when you look at its influences. The developer himself pitched the idea based on Takeshi's Castle. If you don't know what that is, you probably didn't grow up in the UK listening to Craig Charles on the box. It's basically a Japanese over-the-top game show where contestants battle it out in painful, wacky and downright bizarre ways to make it to the next stage. You can clearly see the influence on the door game mode here. I'm also going to go ahead and say it's no surprise that the guys designing this game called it Ultimate Knockout. Clearly there is an influence from its It's a Knockout roots, another popular UK TV show where people can be knocked out of the game show in bizarre situations. Whether it's a football, a custard pie, a slip on a rolling beam, a slide, a big silly costume. Whatever it is, there's definitely that general element of competition, but it's more about laughing along the way to make it to a final, and it's less about the head-to-head competitions in these modes. If I was to try guess a third influence, I would say 1 versus 100. It's an old Xbox 360 arcade game where 100 people battle it out over trivia. I would argue it was incredibly popular, underrated, and sort of started the battle royale genre without really realising it and other people really realising it. To explain, it's sort of like the online version of Buzz, which is another PlayStation trivia game where you must survive to the end to be crowned the one. Now, Fall Guys may not have any general knowledge yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if that became a thing. The point is that these games are party games with competition, but the key element is the fun. You know how every game is always trying to be the next AAA hit, the next blockbuster franchise? It's actually nice to have a game that goes, okay, we're simple, it's fun, it's cheap, you should probably try it. It's free on PlayStation Plus right now, and for £15 you can grab it on PC. You can easily sink 15 hours into this over the course of a week, playing an hour or two a night, and get to the end of it and think, you know what, that was great fun. And even if you get bored of the levels eventually, it was the price of a takeaway. And the reality is, it follows all the current popular game mode models anyway. There's going to be a season, there's going to be a battle pass, there's going to be new content to unlock, and clearly more and more levels added each season to keep it fresh. Games are just experiences. They don't need to be played 24/7 all year round for them to be justified as worth. People seem to forget that. If you went out and rented a movie and got some wine and spent £15 and enjoyed it, you wouldn't complain after 3 months that you're bored of that same movie and it's all dried up. Sometimes things are just experiences that you have, enjoy and move on from. Now, I'm not saying Fall Guys is something you move on from, but I'm just making the point to those that complain about lack of replayability. So, to keep things simple, Fall Guys is a game with simple rules, wacky outcomes, annoying losses, but it just about manages to keep it all feeling fun. Well, apart from the hackers, but I'm sure that will be resolved. You can play solo or with friends. If you fall, don't worry, you can back out and search again, or you can wait and watch your friend in the action. It features both free-for-all and cooperative modes, separating competitive humour into these two very different styles. If you want to laugh at random people falling over, you can check out the former, or if you're a little bit more competitive and you want to watch your mate fail to control the big football, score an own goal, or well score like Aguero, you can certainly do that. Like any new game, there are some bugs, some issues, but they're going to be resolved. But I have been having a blast, and it's nice to see a spin on a genre that I enjoy. If I was to compare this game to sort of something, it would be like the PlayStation 2 days, where we had AAA games and AA games. And typically, the AA games, like Destroy All Humans, were fun. They tried something new, and they had enough of a budget to be high quality, but they didn't have too much of a budget that it was completely risk averse. They could take risks due to those lower production costs and make something a little bit different that people could just have fun with. You know, some people want to sit down and play Grand Theft Auto 5 and go through the campaign, and some people just want to play Simpsons Hit and Run. With this game being such a success, there will definitely be more to come, levels, modes, and I can already see the 60-man celebrity events. That's what's great about this type of game. There's a skill to it, kind of like how you'd beat your sibling at Mario Kart, but it's not a complete landslide that they wouldn't win in a single track due to some luck, some items. ease of the controls. I can easily see a celebrity guest joining in, or 3 football teams playing versus each other, because you don't need to be a top level PC PUBG player to get involved in this BR. Typically that's why celebrity events aren't really that good of a watch. Celebrity boxing is not that great of a watch because the level quite isn't there, or watching Jimmy Fallon play Fallout isn't exactly good because he's never ever going to win. Well, watching Jimmy Fallon isn't that good anyway, but that's by the by. But I can easily see a Henry Cavill taking a victory from Shroud, whereas normally it wouldn't be so close, even for Superman. The point is, I can see this pick up and play game being a staple in the home library. Check in and play the new season when there's some new levels and have a laugh with some friends. And even if it doesn't go on to become that staple, for £15 you can't really go wrong. I'm not trying to sound like an advert here, but for me it's just really nice to finally have a game that makes people enjoy playing the game. Everything is normally about finicky mechanics, competitive esports, and sometimes people just want to actually sign in and have some fun. I'm absolutely sure the developers have done a fantastic thing in showing that these wacky fun ideas can be a success, and that developers can and should take more risks with smaller projects, because you never know where it's going to take you. So there we have it. It's a quick rundown on why I'm enjoying Fall Guys and why I think Fall Guys became a success, and some thoughts on how it will change the way developers look at games. Maybe finally, not every single game will be a AAA multi-billion-dollar project, and finally we might see some fun games being churned out. As always, you can support the channel with its broken AdSense by supporting directly with links in the description. You can join the Discord community, the stream, or consider a kickback with my Amazon affiliate link. I appreciate watching. Leave a like and a comment. You can Twitch Prime, or you can press the join button for 1 month free premium. Alright, thanks for listening. Peace.